Grand rising, my beautiful kings and queens. It's your girl Mel B live here on the Luxx Radio Network, ready to sparkle that Friday up for all your days. The weekend is fluttering close, but we're not coasting. We're finishing strong, fierce, and full of purpose. So grab your coffee, stretch your wings, and let's emerge, elevate together. All right, our affirmation of the day is I'm walking in my season of overflow. My focus, my faith, all flow and is attracting everything that is meant for me today. All right. Our word of the day is radiance, the quality or state of being bright, glowing, and full of light. So, family, don't dim your radiance to make someone else comfortable. Shine anyway. Sparkle louder and let inner light remind the world of just who you are. Our urban slang word or phrase of the day is big energy, a confident, magnetic vibe that commands attention without trying too hard. It's always about walking in your purpose, owning your space, and radiating self assurance. The main character is energy. All right, on to our news headlines. The Federal Aviation Administration, or the FAA, announced it will reduce flight capacity by up to 10% at 40 major U.S. airports beginning today, due to the ongoing federal government shutdown and mounting fatigue among unpaid air traffic controllers. A strong geomagnetic storm event is underway with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or the NOAA, is issuing a G3 level watch for November 6th and 7th. As a result, the northern lights may be visible as far as the south parts of the central U.S., including Michigan and Illinois. All right, on to New York. Zohran Mahdavi has been elected mayor of New York City, becoming the first Indian origin Muslim to hold the office. His progressive platform focused on housing reform, affordability, and police accountability. Voter turnout exceeded 2 million, marking the highest participation in 30 years. In Los Angeles, tonight's Beaver supermoon, the brightest in 2025, will be visible across Southern California. The LA Canucks host Diwali night at Crypto.com Arena, featuring music, food, and cultural performances. Meanwhile, Prop 50 passed statewide, allowing WA Cares funds to be invested in diversified assets. Chicago. Local hospitals report critical staffing shortages and amid the rising healthcare premiums, promoting calls for emergency funding. Tonight's Beaver supermoon is expected to be the largest since 2019. In Atlanta, Mayor Andre Dickens is under pressure as voters react to rising utility bills and housing concerns. Georgia's Public Service Commission races could reshape electricity rates. Polling hours were extended due to technical delays, and the voter turnout is expected to exceed 2021 levels. In Houston, city officials launched a cleanup initiative in flood-prone neighborhoods following Halloween. Energy leaders convened to discuss grid resilience ahead of the winter storm. Local schools hosted STEM fairs to boost youth engagements in science and tech careers. Washington, D.C. Congress returned early to address budget delays and contractor protests. Nigerian President Bola Tinubu met with U.S. officials to ease diplomatic tensions. The Smithsonian launched Women Who Lead, an exhibit honoring Black female entrepreneurs. Miami hosts the E1 Miami GP, the world's first all-electric race boat championship with teams owned by Tom Brady and LeBron James. Qualifying heats begin qualifying heats begin Friday, which is today. Meanwhile, local elections for mayor and commissioners remain undecided, with results expected by Friday evening. Tampa. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers face the New England Patriots on Sunday in a high-stakes Week 10 matchup. FAA staffing shortages due to the government shutdown have led to a 10% reduction in flights at TPA. Local hospitals brace for increased patient loads. Tarpon Springs, good morning. The 37th annual Tarpon Springs Seafood Festival kicks off Friday with live music, crafts, and master chefs of the sea competition. The Stone Crab Eating Contest headlines Sunday's events. Admission is free and shuttle service is available. Milwaukee, good morning. Downtown Milwaukee glows with the launch of Holiday Lights Festival. This 82nd annual Holiday Folk Fair International opens Friday, spotlighting traditional music and global cuisine. The Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra performs Handel's Messiah to mark its 50th anniversary. Jackson, Mississippi. Downtown Jackson hosts the 82nd National Folk Festival from November 7th through the 9th, featuring sacred steel guitar, Choctaw dancers, and the sonic boom of the South. 6 stages and a folk life marketplace will showcase Mississippi's cultural legacy. Toronto. Toronto prepares for its first brush with winter as rain and flurries loom this weekend. Environment Canada warns of gusty winds and slick roads. Meanwhile, the city hosts 68 cultural events Friday, including Hip Hop Diaspora 2.0 at Hart House and the Christmas Market at Crow's Theatre. Ontario's finance minister tables a fall fiscal update amid tariff impacts. Vancouver. Metro Vancouver faces a rainfall warning up to 70 millimeters expected and gusts reaching 70 kilometers. Power outages and floods are possible. The Vancouver Attic Center remains closed after a chunk of concrete fell from the roof into the pool, prompting safety inspections. The Pad Thai Throwdown kicks off Friday, where 3 restaurants competing for culinary bragging rights. Kingston. Prime Minister Andrew Holness estimates Hurricane Melissa caused up to $7 billion in damage, nearly a third of Jamaica's GDP. Relief efforts include medical tents, solar lanterns, and food kits from the UK and El Salvador. Schools begin phase reopening with psychological support for the students. Montego Bay's Sandster International Airport resumed limited operations for relief and commercial flights. Virgin Atlantic will pause service after November 10th, citing infrastructure challenges. Hotels like Sandals and Royalton plan phased reopenings by December 15th. Ocho Rios. Sandals Oche and RIU Oche Rios will reopen December 6th and November 22nd, respectively. Resorts escaped major damage and are housing relief crews. The Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association reports bookings for December, signaling recovery. Negril. Beaches Negril and Sandals Negril will reopen December 6th, while smaller resorts like Sunset at the Palms resume operations November 25th. Local vendors report income loss due to tourist cancellations. Government pledges support for displaced hospitality workers. Bahamas. The Bahamas secured a $75 million loan to upgrade public health facilities. The Bahamas Film Festival opens Friday, marking two decades of Caribbean talent. Airport officials monitor the U.S. shutdown for travel disruptions. Cayman Islands. Cayman officials warn of immigration scams targeting overseas job seekers. Flow faces scrutiny over emergency service outages that disrupted 911 access. Police arrested a juvenile after a collision involving an illegal motorcycle. Nigeria. President 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 Tinubu seeks Senate approval for $1.15 trillion loan to fund the 2025 budget. DSS dismissed 115 personnel from its conduct while Boko Haram deployed drones to Borno. The U.S. and China spar over alleged genocide claims and foreign policy interference. Ghana. Accra faces sanitation crisis as waste contractors threaten a nationwide strike over unpaid arrears. The Ghana Armed Forces extended its recruitment deadline to November 7th due to technical issues. The Black Princesses begin training for the WAFUB U2 Girls Cup. All right, on to our weather. New York will be sunny and 50 today. Los Angeles will be clear with a high of 56. Chicago will be crisp, cold with a high of 47. Atlanta will be clear with a high of 49. Houston will be breezy with a high of 61. Washington, D.C. will be sunny with a high of 52. Miami will be partly cloudy with a high of 73. Tampa will be mild with a high of 70. Tarpon Springs will be mild with a high of 70. Milwaukee will be chilly with a high of 45. Jackson, Mississippi will be clear with a high of 54. Toronto will be chilly with a high of 43. Vancouver will be cloudy with a high of 48. Kingston will be mostly sunny with a high of 81. Montego Bay will be mostly sunny with a high of 80. Ocho Rios will be mostly sunny with a high of 79. And Negril will be sunny with a high of 78. The Cayman Islands will have light showers with a high of 80. And Nassau, Bahamas will be partly sunny with a high of 76. Nigeria will be partly sunny with a high of 87. And Ghana will be mostly sunny with a high of 87. All right, on to our sports. In the NFL, the Denver Broncos won Thursday night's football, defeating the Las Vegas Raiders 10-7. In the NBA, we have final scores: the Suns over the Clippers 115-102, and the Lakers over the Spurs 118-116. NBA games today will be the Celtics versus the Magic, 6 p.m. Raptors versus the Hawks at 6:30 p.m. and the Warriors versus the Nuggets at 9 p.m. Okay, and on to our daily feature, which is Feature Friday. And our theme today will be for the rest of November, actually, will be champions under the age of 25. So today we're featuring Scott Hyatt, who is only 22, is the founder of Music Pals, Sub.so, and SimSync. Ooh, say that 5 times. Scott began coding at age 7, teaching himself Visual Basic from a book he received as a gift. By 14, he had already created a multiplayer mod for the Sims 4 game, which now has over 700,000 downloads and 10,000 monthly users. His breakout venture was the Music Pals. Launched at 17, Music Pals connects users through shared music tastes by placing them in live chat rooms. A TikTok video promoting the app went viral with 2.7 million views, leading to 1 million users and 15 million social impressions. The app caught the attention of MTV News and major record labels. Other projects: Sub.so is a platform for creators to unify subscription content across platforms. Also, he has Edge, a rose from intern to head of engineering at a tech company by age 17. And his accolades, featured in Forbes, won the Finastra Fusion 1 hackathon and was named Best Shoutcaster in a national esports tournament. Congratulations, Mr. Hyatt. All right, on to our book club segment where we're still reading 48 Laws of Power, and we are on Law 34, which is be royal in your own fashion. To sum it up, act like royalty and people will treat you that way accordingly. This law isn't about arrogance, it's about commanding presence. When you carry yourself with poise, confidence, and self-assurance, others intensely elevate your status. The crown isn't given, it's claimed through your behavior. So in business, walk into meetings like you belong at the head of the table. Your energy sets the tone. In relationships, set boundaries with grace. People respect those who respect themselves. And in leadership, lead with vision and composure. Panic is contagious, so stay poised. All right, our cause of the day, we are acknowledging that it is Native American Heritage Month. Native American Heritage Month celebrates the rich cultures, histories, and contributions of indigenous peoples across the United States. From the Navajo Nation to the Seminole tribe, this month honors resilience, tradition, and ongoing fight for recognition and sovereignty. Historical roots, first proposed in 1915 by Dr. Arthur C. Parker, a Seneca Indian historian. Officially recognized in 1990 when President George W. Bush approved a joint resolution designating November as National Native American Heritage Month. Builds on earlier efforts like American Indian Day, which was first celebrated in 1916. The cultural significance, indigenous communities have shaped American identity through language, agriculture, art, governance, and environmental stewardship. From the Iroquois Confederacy's influence on democracy to the Cherokee symbolism and Pueblo architect, Native innovation runs deep. Key themes to explore this month: sovereignty and treaty rights, land acknowledgement and sacred sites, language revitalization, missing and murdered indigenous women, MIW, environmental justice and water protectors, and representation in media and politics. There are a lot of educational resources on all of these themes. And the one that is, I guess, used the most, which I used, was the Smithsonian National Museum of the American Indian, which is at americanindian.si.edu/NK360, which stands for Native Knowledge 360. So this month, we honor the original stewards of this land, not just in memory, but in action. Whether it's learning tribal names, supporting Native-owned businesses, or amplifying indigenous voices, every step is a step towards justice. All right, today in history, in 1916, Jeannette Rankin becomes the first woman elected to the U.S. Congress. Montana voters made history by electing Ms. Rankin to the House of Representatives 4 years before women had the right to vote nationally. A lifelong pacifist and separatist, Rankin famously voted against U.S. entry into both world wars. Her legacy reminds us representation isn't symbolic, it's strategic. You can, quote, you can no more win a war than you can win an earthquake, end quote. In 1967, Carl Stokes elected mayor of Cleveland, first black mayor of a major U.S. city. Carl Stokes broke barriers as the first African American elected mayor of a major U.S. city. His victory in Cleveland marked a turning point in urban politics and civil rights, paving the way for future Black leadership in cities like Atlanta, Detroit, and Washington, D.C. And in 1895, get this word right, Wilhelm Röntgen discovers X-rays. German physicist Wilhelm Röntgen accidentally discovered X-rays while experimenting with cathode rays, revolutionizing medicine and diagnostics. His work earned him the first Nobel Prize in physics in 1901 and laid the foundation for radiology. All right, in African American history, we have Carol Moseley Braun, the first Black woman in the U.S. Senate. In 1992, Carol Braun of Illinois shattered political ceilings by becoming the first African American woman elected to the U.S. Senate. Her victory wasn't just historic, it was defiant. She ran against the odds, unseated and incumbent, and refused to let race or gender define her limits. Also, we have Aaron Douglas, the father of Black American art. Aaron Douglas was a visual architect of the Harlem Renaissance. His bold geometric style blended African motifs with modernism, creating murals and illustrations that told stories of struggle, pride, and liberation. His work graced the walls of Fisk University and the pages of The Crisis, shaping how Black identity was seen and celebrated. And last, we have the Black Cabinet, Roosevelt's hidden brain trust. During the New Deal era, President Franklin D. Roosevelt quietly relied on a group of African American advisors known as the Black Cabinet. Led by Mary Bethune, this unofficial coalition shaped politics on education, housing, and civil rights, often behind closed doors. Though underfunded and under-recognized, they laid groundwork for future federal inclusion. All right, our African American inventors. Isaac Johnson was a cement pioneer. In 1871, Isaac Johnson patented an improved method for producing Portland cement, a critical material in modern construction. His innovation made cement stronger, more durable, and more cost-effective, laying the foundation literally for roads, bridges, and buildings across America. Johnson's work helped shape the infrastructure of the industrial age, yet his name remains largely unsung. Frederick McKinley Jones, father of mobile refrigeration. Frederick McKinley Jones revolutionized food and medicine transport with his invention of the first automatic refrigeration system for trucks in 1935. His technology enabled safe delivery of perishable foods and goods and life-saving medical supplies, especially during World War II. Jones held over 60 patents and co-founded Thermo King, transforming global logistics. And we have Mary Kenner, the inventor of the sanitary belt. Mary Kenner broke barriers in feminine hygiene with her 1957 patent for the sanitary belt, a precursor to the modern menstrual products. Despite racial discrimination that delayed her recognition, Kenner went on to hold 5 patents, including designs for a toilet paper holder and a backwasher. Her work centered on dignity, comfort, and accessibility. All right, today in our Back to Roots, our focus today is spiritual practice. The spiritual practice of ancestral veneration. What is it? Ancestral veneration is the sacred practice of honoring those who came before, blood relatives, cultural icons, and spiritual guides. Rooted in African cosmetology, it is not worship but connection. Ancestors are seen as protectors, advisors, and bridges between the physical and spiritual realms. Cultural presence. In Nigeria, ancestors are honored through libations, prayers, and offerings during family rituals and festivals, which the term for it is Igungun, ancestral spirits who return to guide the living. In Haiti, the gay day spirits represent the dead and are celebrated with music, dance, and rum during the Fete Geti. In Cuba, Egun ceremonies call on ancestral spirits for healing and clarity. In the United States, African American spiritual circles honor ancestors through altars, storytelling, and naming rituals. How it's practiced: altars are decorated with photos, candles, food, and symbolic items. Libations, pouring water or liquid while calling names and giving thanks. Prayer and meditation, speaking to ancestors for clarity, protection, or affirmation. And offerings of food, flowers, tobacco, or personal items placed with intention. So the spiritual attributes are grounding and identity, emotional healing and closure, intergenerational wisdom, and protection and spiritual alignment. Ancestral veneration teaches that death is not the end, it's a transition. The veil between worlds is thin, and elders walk with us. Honoring them in a way is to honor ourselves. All right, on our fact or fiction conspiracy theory of the day was the Watergate scandal. So what happened with Watergate? In 1972, 5 men were caught breaking into the Democratic National Committee headquarters at the Watergate complex in Washington, D.C. What seemed like a petty burglary unraveled into a full-blown political conspiracy, revealing illegal wiretaps, hush money, and a cover-up orchestrated by members of President Richard Nixon's administration. The fallout: investigations revealed Nixon's involvement in obstructing justice. Secret White House tapes exposed attempts to silence witnesses. The scandal led to 69 indictments and 48 convictions. Nixon resigned in 1974, the first U.S. president to ever do so. Why it's considered a conspiracy? Watergate wasn't just a crime. It was a coordinated effort to manipulate democracy and hide the truth. The term Watergate now symbolizes political scandal and government overreach. It also birthed the suffix gate, used in countless controversies since. So how did it impact us? It sparked distrust in government and media scrutiny, inspired films like All the President's Men, elevated investigative journalism as a civic force, and fueled public awareness of surveillance and executive power. So you can find all this information within the Nixon Presidential Library Archives and the National Archives under Watergate trial tapes. And there's also a book, All the President's Men by Carl Bernstein and Bob Woodward. Watergate taught America that truth has layers, and power without accountability is a threat to democracy. All right, our tip of the day is declutter your desktop for better focus. Why it matters: a cluttered desktop isn't just messy, it's mentally distracting. Every icon, file, or screenshot pulls your attention and slows down your system's performance. So quick fix for this is create folders by category. Put one for work, personal, and just to archive. Use your download folders as a temporary zone, then clean it weekly. Set your desktop wallpaper to something calming and minimal, and pin essential apps to your taskbar and hide the rest. A bonus tip is Use a built-in focus assistant feature on the Windows to silence notifications while you work. You'll feel a difference in clarity and speed. All right, our finance tip of the day is automate your savings to build wealth without even thinking. Saving money is easier when it's automatic, but setting up recurring transfers from your checking account to a savings or investment account, you remove the temptation to spend it and build financial momentum without any effort. So, how to start? Choose a fixed amount. Start with like $25 a week or 10% of your paycheck. Set up auto transfers on payday to a high yield savings account or a Roth IRA. Treat it like a bill, non-negotiable, consistent, and protected from impulse. It protects you from impulse buys. All right, our fun fact of the day is sloths can hold their breath longer than dolphins. Sloths may seem slow, but they've got hidden superpowers. Thanks to their ultra slow metabolism, sloths can hold their breath up to 40 minutes. Good grief. Underwater. Dolphins, by comparison, typically surface around 15 to 15 minutes after being under the water. Interesting. All right, our fun holiday of the day is it's National Bittersweet Chocolate with Almonds Day. Today's the perfect excuse to indulge in a treat that's both rich and heart healthy. Bittersweet chocolate is packed with antioxidants, and almonds bring the crunch, protein, and good fats. Whether it's a fancy bar or a homemade snack, this combo is a win for your taste buds and your brain. All right, our quote of the day comes from Miss Angela Davis. Quote, I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept. End quote. Ah, that's something to think about. All right, on to our music and entertainment news for today. Black Music Honors 10th anniversary broadcast begins. The 10th annual Black Music Honors kicks off its national syndication run this week, airing from November 8th to December 7th, 2025. This year's celebration honors legendary artists including Bootsy Collins. He's getting the Legend Award. Patrice Rushen, Lifetime Achievement Award. Hezekiah Walker, Gospel Music Icon Award. And Johnny Gill, R&B Soul Music Icon Award. Hosted by Grammy winner LaToya Luckett and comedian D. Ray Davis, the event features performances by Shanice, Black Odyssey, Ricky Dillard, Shantae Moore, Donald Lawrence, Mono Neon, and Tone Stith. All right. Following the recent passing of activist Assata Shakur at age 78, two major projects are in development, a documentary and a script series exploring her life, legacy, and impact on Black liberation movements. And Sherry Shepherd is honored with a Hollywood Walk of Fame star. Actress, comedian, and daytime talk show host Sherry Shepherd was officially inducted into the Hollywood Walk of Fame this week. Known for her roles on The View, 30 Rock, and her own hit show Sherry Shepherd, Shepherd stars celebrate her decade-long impact on television, comedy, and representation. Our song of the day is No Limit by the one and only Miss Mary J. Blige. All right, and celebrity gossip, Solange Knowles named first scholar in residence at USC. Singer, artist, and cultural curator Solange Knowles has been appointed the first ever scholar in residence at the University of Southern California's Thornton School of Music. Known for her avant-garde, that's a good way of putting it, approach to music and Black identity, Solange will mentor students and lead interdisciplinary workshops on sonic architecture and cultural theory. Congratulations, Solange. Amber A.D. Smith and Ollie Sullivan tie the knots. Love is Blind stars Amber A.D. Smith and Ali Sutherland just said "I do" in a stunning Beverly Hills ceremony. The couple who won hearts on season 6 kept the guest list intimate, but the fashion bold. A.D. wore a custom gown by a Black designer, and the reception featured a soul food menu with champagne tower. Also, Tyler Perry's Finding Joy set for holiday release. Tyler Perry's newest film, Finding Joy, is slated for a Thanksgiving weekend premiere. The holiday adventure stars Kerry Washington, Lakeith Stanfield, and newcomer Zuri James in a heartwarming tale about family, forgiveness, and rediscovering joy. Early buzz says Perry's most is this is Perry's most emotionally layered work yet. All right, and in celebrity birthdays, today we have Gervonta Tank Davis turns 30. The undefeated lightweight boxing champion celebrates another year of dominance in and out of the ring. Known for his explosive knockouts and Baltimore roots, Davis remains one of the most electrifying figures in modern boxing. Then we have Algie Smith, also turning 30 today. Actor and singer Algie Smith turns 30. He's best known for his breakout roles in the New Edition story, Detroit, and HBO's Euphoria. With a smooth voice and serious acting chops, Smith continues to rise as a multi-hyphenate talent. And we also have Dara Renee turns 24. This rising star from High School Musical, the series, turns 24 today. Dara Renee brings vibrant energy to every role and has quickly become a Gen Z favorite in her authenticity and vocal power. And also, the J.A.B Entertainment and Luxx Radio family would love to give a special birthday shout out to Mr. Keith Evans, who is our illustrious leader, Cookie's brother. So happy birthday, bro. Enjoy your weekend. All right, on to our lifestyle segment. Our soul food recipe of today is, anyone heard of this before? But it's Edna Lewis's simmered greens. This Southern classic is from culinary legend Edna Lewis, who uses a slow simmered pork base to infuse hearty greens with deep flavor. Unlike traditional one-pot methods, Lewis cooked the pork separately to preserve the greens' texture and integrity. So she uses collard greens, smoked pork neck bones, onion, garlic, red pepper flakes. And I thought that was just the usual stuff you put in there. But you just simmer the pork slow and low, then add greens last for vibrant color and bold taste. That is usually how you make greens. All right, so to pair that with that today, our beverage of the day is iced gingerbread chai, a Starbucks holiday. It's on the Starbucks holiday menu, I guess, too. All right, and on to our men's health tip of the day. Start slow, stay steady. Today's energy favors gentle beginnings, gentlemen. Men are encouraged to ease into routines, whether restarting workouts, adjusting sleep routines, or improving nutrition. Skip the pressure. A short walk, mindful meal, or quiet moment counts, gentlemen. Progress is steady when you're kind to yourself. And also make those doctor's appointments. Women's health tip today, protect your heart. Know the signs. Heart disease is the leading cause of death for women, yet symptoms often differ from men's. Watch for fatigue, shortness of breath, nausea, or jaw pain, not just in your chest. Regular exercise, heart healthy foods, and routine checkups are key. Your heart deserves the attention, so listen when it whispers to you. All right, our relationship tips for today. Couples, don't skip the check-in. A 5-minute daily check-in. How are you feeling today? Can deepen emotional intimacy and prevent miscommunication. I don't know about the 5-minute daily check-in. It only takes 2.2 seconds to call or text somebody. I'm not even going to finish that. I'm not even going to go there because I'll be done ran it. We done had this conversation. We're having this conversation all week amongst ourselves. Friendships and everything. So, yeah, no, I'm not going there. Anyway, relationship tip for friendships. Celebrate your friends' wins loudly. Whether it's a new job, a healed heartbreak, or a fresh hairstyle, cheer your people like it's your own victory. And family, create a no phone zone. Designate 1 hour a week for unplugged family time, games, cooking, and storytelling. It builds connection and resets the vibes. I think this is with people with small kids or teenagers. That is a very good idea. Because adults, we just gonna adult. That's all we're gonna do. Being unplugged and nothing, I don't think we can't. All right, on to our daily horoscope for today. We have Aries. Money matters may feel tense today. Avoid impulse spending, and focus on what truly sustains you. Emotional honesty will strengthen relationships. Taurus, you're in the spotlight, so own it. Your authenticity is magnetic. Don't let drama shake your peace. Reinvention is calling. Gemini, your inner world is shifting. Dreams and secrets rise to the surface. Listen to your intuition over outside noise. Cancer, hard work pays off. Financial improvement is likely, and giving back brings good karma. Stay grounded in your truth. Leo, recognition is coming. You worked hard, now the credit lands where it belongs. Financial and emotional renewal begins. I'd say that's a stamp, and the cherry on top there says Virgo, adventure calls. Step outside your comfort zone and prove your potential. Today favors bold moves and self-discovery. Libra, speak your truth. Even imperfect honesty deepens bonds. Your ideas matter. Share them with confidence. Scorpio, emotions run deep. Venus in your sign stirs intensity. Choose depth over drama and lean into transformation. Sagittarius, freedom meets reflection. Mars energizes your quest for growth, but the Taurus moon urges completion. Balance boldness with closure. Capricorn, career clarity emerges. Uranus shakes up your routines, embrace new systems. Avoid control and lean into collaboration. Aquarius, power dynamics surface. Venus squares Pluto in your sign. Watch for manipulation. Stay grounded and choose authenticity. Pisces, let go of control. Presence brings peace. Don't rush decisions. Trust your heart's rhythm and give space to your feelings. All right, on Monday's show, which will be Motivational Monday, we're going to start the week with clarity, courage, and creative fire. So Monday's show is all about setting the tone and protecting our energy. So we're going to have a mindset reset. Our song of the day is going to be Keep Your Head Up by Tupac. We'll have a new soul foods recipe, relation tips, and more health tips. So at this time, I would like to thank our sponsors, Bello Burn Hot Sauce. Add some fire to your plate. RAS Herbals, Heal Natural, Live Vibrant, and Clarion Candles, where peace meets scent. And that's a wrap for today morning Kickstart. So remember, your energy is your currency. Spend it where it grows, not where it drains. Walk in purpose, speak with power, and don't forget to pour into yourself first. We'll see you Monday, same time, same vibe, right here on Luxx Radio. Until then, stay bold, stay brilliant, and stay becoming. Happy weekend, everyone. Period.